All right, Shalom. We want to first start off by giving our praises to the Heavenly Father, whom the world ignorantly called God through His Son, whom the world ignorantly called Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. All right, through the Holy Spirit, through Ruach Kodash. So, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and who taught us the truth through the Spirit. All right, and Shalom to the Akim that's laboring in his gospel and truth and in sincerity. All right, you have the brother Python.
Y'all rock.
And we back with another lesson through the Spirit. And in this lesson, we want to get into the Gentile issue. All right, which is a very controversial topic. All right, we want to go into the scriptures and prove that there's two different sets of Gentiles, and there's a natural Gentile, which are the heathen nations, and then there's the unnatural Gentiles, which are the Israelite foreigners that lost their way. All right, the Israelites consist of today you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, we all follow the story of we all follow under that story of the Gentiles that lost their way but have been brought back through our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, starting with the elect. All right, starting with the elect. So we're gonna go into the scriptures and prove that who mainly Paul, because he was pretty much a servant and called to go preach to the Gentiles. He was going to the Israelite foreigners that they wasn't groomed in the law, they wasn't grown up in the law, they was living outside of Israel. All right, they were scattered amongst all the heathen. All right, some knew that they were Israelites that was living outside of Israel, and some didn't. All right, and we're gonna prove that in the scriptures. You'll get that Acts real quick. Only if you had a precept. You had a precept.
Just real quick,
God.
just to back you up. This is James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad greeting.
All right, so James was pretty much sent his letter, because these are epistles, which are letters. He was talking to the 12 tribes that have been scattered. All right, when you go into that word scattered, all right, it takes you back to a Greek word which is diaspora. Now we have this Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary that breaks down the word diaspora and who it pertains to. So I bring that out real quick. All right. And if you had any other precepts, you can just get them together as I read this. Let's see. So like you bear with me right quick. I'll bear with us. You know, this is diaspora on Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, which brothers familiar with this, you know, but just in case, you know, hey, new watchers, just gonna break it down through the Spirit, man, because these so-called Christians, which they say they followers of the anointed, but they don't follow His word. All right, they claim that salvation is for everybody and God loves everybody, and that's completely against the scriptures, and that's what we're going into. Because that's pretty much the foundation of the Roman Catholic Church, which these so-called Christians are branch offs of Roman Catholicism. All right, and they believe God loves everybody. Salvation is open for everybody. And this lesson we're proving, all right, as defenders of the gospel, as we've been called to go into the scriptures and prove that the Most High has always and forever only dealt with Israel. All right, so this is diaspora, which going back to that word scattered. You read that again, James.
James chapter 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High,
right,
and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach,
right,
to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad greeting.
Right, so the 12 tribes that were scattered abroad. What are the 12 tribes? The 12 tribes of Israel that have been scattered. All right, that's the brother brought it out. So this is diaspora, which you will find diaspora behind that word scattered. It says diaspora. It says that which is sown. The name applied to the Jews. All right, when you see the word Jew in the New Testament, that applies to the southern kingdom. All right, the Jews consist of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, because there was a split that happened to Israel. All right, during the time of Solomon's son. All right. So this is a diaspora. It says that which is sown. The name applied to the Jews living outside of Palestine and maintaining their religious faith among the Gentiles. All right, so it applied to the Israelites that was living outside of Israel, but still knew that they was Israelites and was keeping the covenants, all right, keeping the commandments to the best of their ability, right? So it says, God had warned the Jews through Moses that dispersion among the other nations would be their lot if they departed from the Masonic law. So you'll get that in Deuteronomy, only if you had a precept.
No.
Get Deuteronomy 28:64. All right, go ahead.
Right, this is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right, so you're reading this Deuteronomy 28. Moses is telling the Israelites, all right, what's going to happen, what's the reward of keeping the commandments, and what's the penalty for breaking the commandments, right? You read from 15 on down to 68 in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. It's going into the penalties of Israel being disobedient, all right? So go ahead.
It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods,
Right.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so start from the top on there, Baba Show.
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
That's who James is writing to. That's also who Peter, the head apostle of the church, was writing to. You'll get that real quick. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1.
1 Peter 1:1. Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, and Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia.
Right. So read it from the top.
Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shah Mashiach,
Right.
to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia.
And we're reading about those strangers. Who is this strangers? The Israelites that was scattered outside Palestine that kept their religious faith, kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Plus, you had Israelites that were scattered outside Jerusalem that didn't keep the law. All right, they had discontinued from their heritage. Right. Go ahead.
It says, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia.
Go ahead.
Elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father,
Right.
through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
Right. So the blood of Yahweh Shah, like we went into the lesson previous to this, it was only for the Israelites, all right? And the Israelites were scattered, lost their heritage. So you scatter amongst the other nations, the natural heathen, all right, the natural Gentiles, all right, where they would serve different idols. Go ahead to Deuteronomy 28.
Right back in Deuteronomy 28:64, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among our people.
Right, He's going to scatter you amongst all these different nations, right? Go ahead.
From one end of the earth even unto the other.
Yep, go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
And that's what made us Gentiles.
Right.
By being scattered and serving other idols. Go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
They're even wood and stone. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 2. Baba good shot. Showing you who these Gentiles are. Right?
This is 1 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
You were Gentiles. All right? You were Gentiles because you was in that Gentile state of mind before you received the gift of faith in Yahweh Shah. You was Gentiles carried away into the dumb idols. We just read in Deuteronomy 28 chapter that our people would serve different idols. That's what made our people Gentiles, man. All right? And the Jews at that time, those of the circumcision, knew that this occurred. All right? They knew that you had Israelites that were scattered among the other heathen and that had lost their nationality and that was in their Gentile state of mind, serving other idols. All right? So you got John 7:35. John.
This is John 7 and 35. All right, it says, then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go?
You start up like a 2 verses above that?
It's, John
No, for sure.
7:33.
Mm-hmm.
Then said Yahushua unto them, Yet a little while am I with you, and then I go unto him that sent me.
Right. That show you right there that God and
Two different
entities, 2 different powers, right? Start from the top.
Says John 7:33.
Which the Christians believe. Go ahead.
Then said Yahushua unto them, Yet a little while I am with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go unto him that sent me.
Right. Yahushua, I'm with you, but he's gonna be put to death, crucified by his own people. He's gonna rise up the 3rd day and sit on the right hand side of his heavenly Father. Right. Go ahead.
Ye shall seek me, and I shall not. Ye shall seek me and shall not find me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he was going into the spirit world, man. All right, go ahead.
And where I am, thither ye cannot come.
Right, go ahead.
Then said the Jews among themselves.
So this is the point right here that even the Jews, those are the circumcision that knew that they was Israelites, that was that was born keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, they knew the history of our people being scattered. Go ahead.
Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go,
Mm-hmm.
that we should not find him? Will he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles?
So we went into that word dispersed, the diaspora, the scattered, which pertains to the Israelites. All right. So will he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and do what?
Will he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
So that this verse right here shows you that there's 2 different sets of Gentiles. Right. You got the natural Gentiles, and then you got the unnatural Gentiles. All right, which we explained. The unnatural Gentiles are the Israelite foreigners. Like we're going into, they've been scattered. They lost their nationality, and that's all according to prophecy, man. All right. So read that verse from the top. That verse that you need.
This John 7:35.
Mm-hmm.
Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go,
Mm-hmm.
that we should not find him?
Mm-hmm.
Will he go unto the dispersed amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Right, that show you the Gentiles that Yahushua was sent to, which our people knew. Those of the circumcision, the Jews knew that who are you going to go to? Are you going to go to the Israelites that have been scattered amongst those Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, and teach the Israelite foreigners, the unnatural Gentiles, all right? So this is a quick precept just to prove that our people knew, all right, the history. This is Tobit chapter 13 in verse 3, which so-called Christians say the Apocrypha is not canon, is not biblically accepted or proven by your own scholars, but the Israelites, who the prophets that the Most High have revealed His secrets to, are the true authorities over these scriptures, man. All right, because we've been given the secrets. All right, and this Gentile subject is a mystery, man. The scriptures say it, the mystery of the Gentiles. This is Tobit chapter 13 and 2. It says, "For he doeth scourge and hath mercy. He lead it down to hell, which is bad conditions, all right, played out on earth, and bring it up again. Neither are the grave," hell can be the grave as well, all right? It said, "and bring it up again. Neither is there any," but this is talking about bad conditions, right? It says, "Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he has scattered us among them." That's it, man. It's plain and simple. We have been scattered amongst the Gentiles, and we've been called Gentiles, man. All right? Back in the time of Peter, back in the time of Paul, those Gentiles that received salvation and forgiveness of their sins were Israelites that had lost their way. You got Ephesians, Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 11, I believe.
Yeah, it says Ephesians 2 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
"Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh.
Yeah, you was in that Gentile state of mind. You was you was scattered among the heathens, keeping those customs of the heathen, man. All right, and that's a prophecy. Get the prophecy real quick in Jeremiah 14:7, 17 and 4, about the discontinuance of the heritage. All right, a prophecy that we will lose our identity, man. All right.
See, it's 14 and
7 and 4, 17 and 4. Oh, good shot.
Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage, that I might give, gave thee. So
right. And what did the Most High give us? He gave us the heritage of a Hebrew Israelite, the law, statutes, and commandments, man. All right, and everything that come with it. Go ahead. But the scriptures say in this prophecy that we would discontinue, not continue in our heritage, man. Our law, statutes, commandments, our identity. All right, go ahead. Which is mainly played out in the time that we're living in today. All right, but it also happened back then. Go ahead. During the time of Paul now. Go ahead.
And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. Forever is just a long period of time. And we got the penalty. All right. The Most High penalizing us, all right, and judging us for our disobedience, man. All right. Scattering us among the other nations. Same thing was going on back with Israel back then. All right. During the time of Yahushua, during the time of Peter, during the time of Paul. All right, so you go back to the precept you was at in Ephesians.
Ephesians 2 and 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles.
We got the scripture in in 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. You were Gentiles. It say right here that being in time past Gentiles. All right. So back in the past you were Gentiles. All right, but now you back into that Israelite state of mind. All right, back you adopted back to being sons. Why? Through faith in Yahushua. Go ahead.
Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision.
Yeah, the Jews. All right, those that knew that there was Israelite, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, go ahead.
Which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. That at that time you were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
All right, go ahead.
And strangers from the covenants of promise.
Right, so at that time, our people didn't have Yahushua. All right, but when Yahushua came on the scene through faith in his death, burial, and resurrection, they was brought back to being Israelites. All right, they was adopted back. Go ahead.
All right, it says, from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without the Most High in the world.
Go ahead.
But now, in Hamashiach Yahushua, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach.
Yeah, you that were far off, scattered, all right? And the Gentiles that are mine are made nigh by the blood. Now you can partake in being an Israelite, man. All right? And we could keep going on, but, we're going to wrap up the lesson only if you had something else. We're going to wrap up the lesson with that, man. Lord willing, the brothers in the elect, the elect was edified. Just say it like that, all right? Lord willing, the elect was edified, The Gentiles that receive salvation are the Israelites, all right? According to prophecy, the natural Gentiles will be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven, which will be on earth, man. All right, so we want to conclude the lesson with that. Lord willing, it was edifying. We want to give our praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruchakwadash. All right, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that ruled well and who taught us the truth through the Spirit. And shalom to the brothers that's laboring in this gospel in truth and in sincerity. All right, shalom.
Shalom.